say that there's a dysfunctionality about the Home Office, which goes back many, many years under a number of Home Secretaries.
It descended, frankly, into chaos, didn't it, when we had people being taken onto that Bibby Stockholm barge. I mean, there was only ever going to be a few hundred people on it out of the tens of thousands that are awaiting decisions. But they then had to be taken off because the bacteria which could cause Legionnaire's disease was found. I mean, are there wider problems with the system, with the way this is being run? Because shouldn't those basic health checks have been done in advance?
Yes, I agree, and that's why I say it was a bit of a hostage to fortune to have such a focus on what is a very important problem. And it's absolutely right that the government is working on so many fronts to try and solve this problem, but focusing in one week where things like the Bibby farce, as you call it, happened, or yet more people come across 755 just a couple of days ago, I think is not a good idea. Look, it's not the most ideal form of accommodation on the Bibby Stockholm, but it has been used for similar purposes by other countries. It's been used for long-term accommodation for people working on oil rigs. I'm told it's also used for military as well. The alternative, if we cannot stop the numbers coming across the channel without the French cooperation to do that, is for these people to go into hotels and other camps up and down the country. And I think most people say that the hotels in town centres, taking them out of operation, is not the best place either.
So do you think it's a good idea that the government's looking at other barges and indeed other military sites?
Yes, alas, yes, because I think it's better to concentrate on those barges and those bigger sites, rather than using an awful lot of hotels in towns and villages up and down the country, which has an enormous knock-on effect. But the Home Office has got to be able to process these people quicker. They've been taking on more people in the visa section, so the productivity has been improving. But if we are to meet the Prime Minister's target of eliminating that backlog from last year by the end of this year, then the processing rate has got to go up yet further. This is a multifaceted problem, Carol, and that's without the Rwanda scheme yet, and that's an important part if that can come on stream, because that really would be a deterrent and would really fast track people who don't have a claim to be in the UK being removed from the UK to Rwanda. I don't agree that it's not making a significant difference. There have been many more interceptions on the French side, so it's more difficult to get into the water. But as I say, if you still allow those people to go free and try again, you're dealing with intercepting the same number of people. The number of Albanians, which was a very significant part of last year's total of about 46,000, 28% of them came from Albania. That figure is in single percentages now. So there's been much better cooperation working with the Albanian
But you're nowhere near stopping the boats, are you?
No, you're nowhere near stopping the boats. As it stands at the moment, the figure, which is now over 16,000, is slightly down on last year, whereas it was forecast to be much worse. But as you can see, we only need a few more days of record numbers coming over, and those figures will go in the opposite direction. You will never be able to stop the boats completely, because when we do bring in these safe and legal routes, these new safe and legal routes, which is an important part of the government strategy, which I got added to the illegal migration bill, so that we can make sure that those with a legitimate, credible claim to come to the UK can do so in a safe way, which means you then absolutely clamp down on those who still try to come across the channel because they have no credible claim for asylum in the UK. Otherwise, they would have used a safe and legal route to apply. So we can absolutely isolate those who don't have genuine claims and reduce the numbers significantly, which is what the government's trying to do. But we'll never get it down to zero.
So in that case, was it a mistake to make that a key priority? Stop the boats? Because people will hear that and think that the government is literally going to stop all of it.
It is absolutely a priority to stop people paying people smugglers, gaming our system, taking advantage of the hospitality and generosity of the UK taxpayer, and effectively bumping the queue for genuine asylum seekers, to whom I think most people would say we do have a duty of care and have given a long tradition of giving them safe haven in the United Kingdom. But they're being disadvantaged for those people who are largely economic migrants who've got the money to pay people smugglers. So it's absolutely right that this is a Prime Minister's priority. And it's absolutely right. The government continues to focus on all these different ways of trying to clamp down on it. But it's, as I say, a multifaceted problem. A bit more cooperation from the French, some better efficiency by the Home Office in processing those claims, and some more returns agreements with other countries to make sure those who don't have a legitimate claim to be here are then sent back very speedily, would absolutely help to diminish this problem.
And you have talked about the need for the French authorities to do more. But what about the Home Office? Is there a wider problem with the way the Home Office is working, with the way it's set up? Or does the ultimate responsibility for this lie with the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman?
No, I think there's a dysfunctionality about the Home Office, which goes back many, many years under a number of Home Secretaries. And if we go back to the last Labour government, the Home Office was the graveyard of many burgeoning political careers amongst cabinet members who became Home Secretaries then. There is a problem with the way the Home Office works, and I think that it needs an absolutely systemic analysis of where the Home Office is going wrong. It's got to be much more flexible. It's got to be much faster in the way it responds in the processing of the claims and everything, as I say. And some of the more successful things that the Home Office have done is working jointly with the military, bringing in the military for running Manston, for example. We had the problems last year. Could the military be brought in to absolutely oversee the whole Bibby Stockholm and other similar accommodation that we're going to have to use as well? So there is a problem absolutely with the Home Office, but it's not something that's just happened in the last few months or years under recent Home Secretaries. I'm afraid it's been there for a long, long time.
Tim Loughton, thanks so much for joining us this morning.